What a mess. Everything is such a mess. This is part 78 of my attempt at trying to make an Xbox a bit more user-friendly for backup games. So far I've managed to attempt a TSOP flash and it failed, probably because of my poor soldering. I might have lifted a solder pad here or there. I'd rather not talk about that anymore. After that happened, we went through. I thought the solder points were all okay. I didn't have a multimeter to test, unfortunately. So we went through and we hooked it up to this disc, which is the Hexen disc, engineering disc by Heimdall, or whatever his name is. And it looked like it was working a few times, so I said, look, well, it's obviously not working, there were some problems, we'll just reboot while trying to flash. And I thought, okay, let's just clean up the caches, set it back to normal settings. And what happened? It decided to delete the dashboard, or damage the dashboard so that it couldn't boot from it anymore. So for the past probably day and a half, I've been trying to work out the best way to do this. Now, one thing I have to say is that I absolutely hate software mods. Same goes for the Wii. I'm not very good at them. They get a bit confusing. You got all those... can't remember what they're called anymore. I'm not even going to try and remember because it's just going to make me cry. But as you can see at the moment, we have managed to get the dashboard back. I restored this from some random backup that was on the hard drive. I did actually make a backup of the hard drive and the hard drive password key last weekend before I started messing around with all this, because I knew it was going to end in tears. The ultimate goal has been to install a larger hard drive, such as this one here, 160 gig, up from the 10. But so far, no luck. I was hoping to put the Executor X2 BIOS on the Winbond BIOS chip in the Xbox, but looks like that's just not going to happen just yet. So my goal has been to get away from the lovely error we know as error 21, which is your software's messed up. And I've tried all sorts of things to try and fiddle around with the contents of the hard drive, because I knew if I could get back access to the hard drive, I could do something. So I've tried all these awful Linuxy USB drives and whatnot. Linux, whatever you want to call it, is a hunk of crap. I hate it. I can't stand it. My Raspberry Pi runs it. Don't care much for it. And to be honest, it didn't help me here at all. It just delayed my inevitable victory. What I ended up doing was powering on the Xbox. Xbox logo appears, word Microsoft down the bottom appears, yank out the IDE cable. This is known as a hot swap, just for you kids out there who aren't aware. And what that does is the hard drive is unlocked at that point, because Microsoft puts, you know, a little bit of protection on their hardware to protect it from being copied, pirated, larger hard drive upgrades, unauthorized upgrades, etc., etc. But they weren't expecting hot swaps, were they? No. Okay, so we got somewhere. So I yanked that out, went and stole a PC from the chap who lives here. He was actually sleeping at the time, but I did manage to steal it from pretty much right next to his head without waking him. That's skill. Hopefully he won't notice it's missing for a few hours yet, because I'm not quite finished. But this has IDE, SATA, it's got everything, so that's fine. So hot swapped it, went into Device Manager, hit refresh, boom, Xbox hard drive detected. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What then? Explorer 360 I used. It's a bit buggy, but it did the job. Recovered an old backup version of the dash, and as you can see, it now works. At least on the basic dash, which, you know, it's a starting point. So now I can try installing a mod of some sort, soft mod, and we'll see where we end up. Once I have FTP access again, we'll be right as rain. and not need this giant PC sitting there. But it's been quite a challenge. I must admit, I think the introduction of hard drives into the gaming devices is it's a bit of a pain. Yeah, I mean, the last one that I would really want to play with, ideally, would be a Saturn. Dreamcast, yeah, it's not as fun. GameCube, same thing. I mean, yeah. Anyway, we're going to get this Xbox at least as good as it was. Because it's not my Xbox, for starters. And I'd really like to play Burnout Revenge, which I've been told is much better than... no, I want to play Burnout 3 Takedown, which is better than Burnout Revenge. I don't know, well, we'll have to see. So stay tuned, and hopefully there'll be a video of this in action. I just thought I'd make a video just explaining what I've done. I will definitely be making a tutorial on this, because I've come across so many Xbox errors. I had error 5, error 6, error 9, error 12, error 21. So 21 software, error 6 is something to do with the hard drive not being able to unlock. That's another thing I did. Using the Linux tools, I was able to lock my hard drive with a different password. So what that caused it to do is the Xbox has this one set password that it locks the hard drive, or unlocks the hard drive and locks the hard drive with. The problem is that because I changed it inadvertently, thankfully it left a log file on the flash drive I was using, so it told me the password, which was 111, because I was just seeing if it was going to unlock. Oh god, what a day. What a weekend, I should say. Anyway, I set the code back to what I had. Thankfully I had a backup of, I didn't have the EEPROM.bin, but I did have the hard drive password file, which proved to be quite handy in the end. And as well as having a backup of the C and E drive, that has also come in handy. So, on to the next step, and we'll see you on the other side.